What up, Dokkanners? A lot of you guys have been asking when part 2 is going to begin, and instead of just making this a 3-second video where I just tell you the answer, I'm going to give you a little bit more than that. If you're looking for a short form video like that, you're on the wrong platform. That answer is TikTok. But in this video, we're going to be talking about when part 2 begins and what you guys can do to prepare for part 2, because there's one thing in particular that I would like to stress some of the more hardcore Dokkanners out there, those who are a little bit more free-to-play oriented. There's one thing that I would highly recommend that you guys do prepare for, because this is going to be a great opportunity to take advantage of something that free-to-play players don't often ever get. In fact, they've never got it. This is the first time we will get it. Will we ever get it again in the future? I don't know. So let's jump in and talk about it. When does part 2 begin? The answer, 12 days after the start of this celebration. The entire celebration overall is 36 days in total. 36 days from the 6th of July until the 11th of August. That totals to 36 days. We are getting 3 stones times 36, 108 stones. Did all the math before. That's a lot of stones and that's a lot of days. Now, how you count the parts? You simply just divide it by how many parts there are. So, for example, if there were 50 days in a celebration and there were 2 parts, part 1 would be 25 days, part 2 would be 25 days. Since this is 36 days and there are 3 parts, you simply divide it by 3, you get 12. That is the answer. Hey, thanks for watching. So I actually did all of this before in the Dragonstone count video, which I still highly recommend you guys go check out. I know a lot of people have already done a lot of summons during part 1. Some unfortunately have not been very lucky. So at this point you're thinking, do I go in and summon more, or do I just save for what's coming up next? Either way, you're gonna want to know how many stones are coming up, and I go through very in-depth how many stones you're going to be getting throughout the entire celebration, so definitely go check it out. I will link that video in the description. But while I did this, I also went through and set up the dates. So this was before we actually got the confirmation of the dates for the celebration. So I simply just transposed the same dates from JP over to global with the same like little intervals. So for example, the countdown on JP was the week before the celebration. It was the 22nd until the 28th. These dates are inclusive. So 22nd to the 28th. It seems like it's 6 days, but if you include the days, that's actually 7. So 7 days for global would be from the 29th until the 5th, actually. So that was 7 days. And then the 6th, July 6th ended up being the start. So likewise, I did the same thing for parts 1, 2, and 3. And here you go. From the 28th until the 8th, that was how long JP's part 1 was. So let's take a look back. January 28th, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There you go. We can also confirm this by taking a look at the celebration. The 28th is when it started on JP. And as you saw here in part 2 started on the 9th of February, which means the 8th was the final day of part 1, further corroborating my dates right here from the 28th to the 8th. That is a total of 12 days, which means for global, from the 6th until the 17th, that is how long our celebration will go for part 1. July 6th, here it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. The 12th day, the 17th, will be the final day that Global celebrates part 1, which means the 18th is when the celebration will start for part 2. And that will go on until the end of the month. So that is how much time we have left. I think in my last few streams, I've sort of been doing the wrong math in my head and I've given different dates, but this is the actual date. So this should be when it starts. I see no reason for JP to differ when it comes to the dates on global. I feel like it should all be the same. They're all evenly distributed. Makes the most sense. All of the events during part 2 will be there along with everything in part 1. Don't think that by the end of part 1 you have to have completed anything. The only thing that you have to be concerned about is the fact that the discounts will be going away during part 2. So the discounts go from the 6th until the 23rd of July. So once that date is gone, you will no longer have the discounts, but everything else in part 1 goes until the end of the celebration. Missions go until the end of the celebration. Everyone's energy campaign goes until the end of the celebration. All of the events go until the end of the celebration. Also, this actually this doesn't go until the end. The special offer, the daily capsule, for those of you who spend on the game, this goes away on the 5th of August, so a week before the end. And you definitely want to get this, because for the price of half of a normal 30-day subscription, you are getting basically double. Actually, for the price of half of the 30-day subscription, you're getting what you get in the 30-day subscription and then some. So this is actually a really good deal. You definitely want to pick that up. I unfortunately made the stupid mistake of picking up the wrong subscription pack. So when you do look at them, make sure you carefully select the right one and you don't miss out. I am still on pace to get this. I'm only going to get it on the 26th though, because I think it's a 15-day thing and I already spent it yesterday, which means I got another 14 days to go. So on the 26th, I gotta pick up this one. But then everything else ends on the 11th. Dokkan event ends on the 11th. The ticket summons end on the 11th. The makeup ticket summon for the special 77 will end on the 18th, I believe. Then everything else also ends on the 18th, like the stone sales stuff. But all of the events, again, will conclude on the 11th. So you got plenty of time to do all that stuff. Don't feel worried like you have to finish all that stuff ahead of time. It's just a matter of when things are going to get going. When part 2 begins, what can you do to prepare for part 2? If you guys are done with all the content now during part 1, there are a few things you can do in part 2, especially this one thing. I'm actually going to start with that. It has to do with link leveling. Now, most of the time, a lot of people don't really care about link leveling, but link leveling has been proven to be a very useful asset for challenge events. And what's coming up during part 2 is this King Kai event. The King Kai event is going to give you an opportunity to get massively enhanced rates for link level ups, meaning you will be able to link level up your characters a heck of a lot easier. And I think it's going to be happening 3 times per 7 days or something like that. Yeah, 3 times per week. So it's not going to be very often that you can do this, but the great thing about this is that if you clear this 9 times, you will earn 5 toon keys in total. And this is the best thing free-to-play players or low spenders or people who haven't bought these toon keys could ever benefit from, because this will give you access to the event that is one of the most useful things in Dokkan. So this is how you can prepare. If you guys are playing Dokkan right now, you guys are enjoying the content, if you have any stamina to spare in any given day, go to stage 30-4, link level some of your favorite units and get them primed and ready for this event. Because what you can do, this is something that I do, this is something that I do regularly. When I have my main link leveling team, if a unit reaches all max links except for 3 link level 9s or more, if they've got 3 or 4 or 5 or whatever, I will stop using them and I will put them onto a special team. That's what this team is in my little 4th folder here. All 6 of these characters have reached level 10 links except for only level 9s left over. So if there are 3 or more, I will save them. I have a that's my level restriction. I don't want to go any lower than 3 because I feel like 2 link level 9s, you might as well just finish it on your own. Don't waste the keys for it. So I've set my standard to 3. All of these units have at least 3 link level 9s or more. This guy, I believe, has like 5. So whenever they do get taken to their portal of memories to that toon key event, they will all get link level ups, and that would be the most valuable way to use those keys. So if you have Spirit Bomb Z, Spirit Bomb GT, if you love those characters, you're very serious about using them, link level them now while you are maybe farming your rank, or maybe while you have spare stamina on any given day. And then if you're able to get some of them at link level 9s only, you can save them for when you get those 5 toon keys. You need 5 of those toon keys at a time to access the Kai event. You cannot access it with anything less. It has to be in multiples of 5. I have been buying the toon key packs because I'm a whale, so I have a bunch of these. But free-to-play players, or those who've never spent on that, will never ever have a chance to do this unless they do this again in a future celebration. This gives you a taste of what the pay-to-play players get to experience on a monthly basis. So with your 5 keys, you can jump into this event and you can take a full team of 6 in there and you can link level every single link up by 1 guaranteed. I would prefer it to be all 9s instead of some 8s, some 7s, some 6s. So for the next few days, if you have nothing else to do, maybe focus on that. That's a pro tip. I would really hope that a lot of the free-to-play players or those who've never experienced this before can take full advantage of it, because it is going to be absolutely worth it for some of your favorite characters. Aside from that, preparing for the Infinite Dragon Ball History stage would also be advised. We're going to be running through warriors fighting demons. This is basically the Majin Buu saga, all the characters leading up to the Spirit Bomb. The 2 category missions are Majin Power and Power of Wishes. So assemble a team that you think could handle the escalation event type of event. You know, like take on 8 stages of any other Infinite Dragon Ball History stage. You've got, actually, is there any other 8-stage one? That's JP. Oh, here's one. Yeah, stage 20. I think this would be called stage 25 for global, because we don't have stage 24 or 27. This would probably be stage 25 versus the participants of 23rd World Tournament. You can go through this one. 8 stages here. So you can do that while also trying to bring 3 Majin Powers, 3 Power of Wishes, trying to clear it within 18 turns. That could be a nice way to prepare. And then we're going to be able to awaken the Babidi to the LR form, the Hercule to the TUR form, and you'll be able to farm out another support memory. So bring Worldwide Chaos units, have those units fully rainbowed out, or not rainbowed, but fully awakened, ready to go. Earthbred Fighters for this. And I think it's, what is this one? Worthy Rivals? Yeah, Worthy Rivals for this one. Birth of the Shadow Dragons. These events are going to be dropping 2 more stages during part 2. I obviously have not seen any of these events because I want to remain unspoiled. So I want to experience them for the first time in my videos. But if you want to be ahead, you could always check out JP channels out there. check out their videos on these two events. The two new stages that are going to be dropping are Ice and Nova. No, just Nova and Naturon Shenron. So these two stages will be dropping. And then I would imagine that Ice and Sin will drop during part 3. So if you want to prepare, watch those videos on JP channels. And then of course the Easy A is coming up. If you don't have the Spirit Bomb Absorb Goku, you might inadvertently pull it if you decide to summon on the upcoming Carnival banners, because he is going to be an unfeatured LR on both of these banners. So there's always a small chance that if you don't have Spirit Bomb Absorb Goku, you might end up picking him up during your summons just randomly. And if that happens, you might want to get ready for that awakening, because his Easy A is really, really good. So what you can do with all the Dokkan events available right now, go through the various events that require the medals to awaken this guy and get them ready to go. I will say that the Spirit Bomb Absorb Goku does also utilize medals from a particular story event. So that story event will be available in part 2. Actually, is it available right now? It might be available right now. I don't remember. Let me actually check my game while I pull this up here. No, it's not available. So it'll be available during part 2. Yeah. But let's actually see what the medals are. So to get to the TUR to the LR, you need 7 of each of these medals from the story event. You need 35 medals from the Android 13 Dokkan event, and then the base form needs another 35. So you could go farm 10 runs on this stage right here, the Fusion Android 13, and get those medals ready for the Spirit Bomb Absorb Goku. And then of course the Blue Kaioken as well. If you don't have this guy, perhaps you might summon on this, which I generally wouldn't advise, but some people might. And if they do, you might want to have those medals ready to go so that you don't have to spend that time farming out the medals once you pull them. So that is a lot of stuff that you can still do to prepare. 5 days, it's not that long. So, you know, with all the content that we currently have, perhaps try running some of the challenge events that we've already done with different teams. That could always be a way to reinvent the events themselves. And until then, get hyped, be patient, save, and get ready for more 8-year anniversary content moving forward. Guys, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like down below. Let me know in the comments how your overall experiences have been so far during part 1. I know that some people have been struggling because of the poor summons, but aside from the summons, are you, if you're able to separate, have you been able to enjoy the content thus far during the part 1 celebration? Because of course, you don't actually need the 8-year anniversary units to do some of the events so far in part 1. So how have your experiences been in Dokkan so far during 8-year? How have your experiences been in part 1? Let me know some highlights, some lowlights if you want. Let me know all of that in the comments down below. Also, be sure to subscribe for more Dokkan content in the future and click the notification bell so that you let YouTube know when to see more of my stuff. Do it. Thanks again. Stay tuned and remember to Dokkan responsibly.